One of the most intimidating dishes in a Macedonian kitchen is probably sarma. Rightly so, a plate of sarma is really beautiful to look at. And beautiful to look at is just a fun way to say really hard to make. That's why I called the help of the best sarma maker I know, and she taught me everything she knows. And with some trial and error, I learned how to make a sarma. And if I can make sarma, then you can make sarma. My name is Trajkovski. This is the Better Balkan. Okay, joining me today, we have a very special guest. It is quite possibly the best sarma maker I know. It is my teta, Susie. Suze?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, sweetie.
Thank you for coming and joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It is a tradition. Normally I drink rakia on this show, but for you, special today, since I know you like red wine, I like red wine too.
I do. I like my wine.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Cheers, Zdravia. So, what are we going to be making today?
Today we're going to make stuffed grape leaves. Okay?
Sarma.
Sarma, Macedonian, that's right. So basically we start off with a pound of ground beef. We're going to brown that. And then we have lots of herbs. So we have parsley, we have dill, and we have mint leaves, all which have to be chopped. And we're going to include one red onion and a red tomato. Everything chopped up really small.
And we're going to walk you guys through this step by step.
So you want to start by dicing up all the ingredients. We have our dill, our red onions, tomatoes, mint leaves, and parsley. And remember, dice them up really fine.
Nice and fine. You don't want to find big chunks of surprises in your sarma. Everything needs to be bite-sized and really nice and pretty.
So once we have all our ingredients diced up, we're going to start browning our ground beef.
To the oven.
So you have your pan, put on some heat, drizzle some olive oil, let it heat up a little, and then we're going to add the ground beef. We're using ground beef today, but you can use any kind of meat you prefer. It could be ground turkey or ground lamb, whichever you prefer is fine. So you really want to make sure to break up the ground beef, make it into small pieces, make sure that all the chunks are broken down. Okay, so you want to add salt to the meat and pepper. And remember not to salt it too much because the grape leaves are salty themselves. And a little dash of red wine to bring out the flavor.
So after your meat pretty much looks like this, it's time to add your herbs and your vegetables.
Okay, we'll start with the onions. Next comes our dill. Yeah. And this is our mint leaves. And here we have our parsley. Yeah, this is for a little bit of more color. I like the food to have lots of nice color.
And me personally, I also really love tomatoes too, and they really add a different flavor to it. They kind of bring a different dimension to it. I really love them.
They do. You can substitute out tomatoes for like a red bell pepper, finely chopped, or orange, whichever, just so that you have that color combination.
Okay, so now that our meat and our herbs and vegetables have been cooked down a little bit and they've kind of sweated down, we're going to add in our rice. What kind of rice is this?
This is basmati rice.
Basmati rice. It's been rinsed off. This is about a cup and a half, 2 cups?
About, yes.
About 2 cups.
All right, here we go.
Uncooked, by the way, for those of you at home, just in case.
Yeah. You know, depends on what kind of rice you use. From my experience, this particular rice cooks really well raw. So, yeah, but you can try any rice that you like. Some people even pre-cook their rice and then add it to the meat. So you can do that as well.
So right now, all we're pretty much doing is trying to kind of stain the rice so it picks up the flavors of the meat and all the vegetables and all that right there. At this point, you could add some more salt and pepper in there. because that rice will kind of make it a little, it'll suck it up and make it a little bit more bland, so feel free to add a little bit more to it. But that's pretty much what we're doing right now. We're just kind of getting this ready to be a filling.
Yep.
Okay, now that the filling is finished, we're gonna start wrapping it up right now. Today we're gonna use grape leaves with this. Grape leaves is one way to do it. I like grape leaves, but another method is also cabbage leaves. You can use either one you want. The cabbage leaves actually, if you can make them yourself at home, the studeny, they're really good. They tend to smell as you're making them. It smells like my childhood pretty much with Bob and Mabel making them in the back. I'm not at that level yet. But grape leaves are just fine. You can buy them at the store. You can also buy the cabbage leaves too, but honestly, I don't think they're as good. You have cabbage leaves, you gotta make them at home, but the grape leaves, they're fine. You can just buy them store-bought.
You can, that's right. These are the easy way to go. So what we do is, we have a tablespoon here, not too full, our filling, our stuffing. We're gonna lay it right about there where the stem is, okay? Some of these grape leaves actually come with long stems, so you're gonna have to trim them, okay? Get rid of that. These already had them trimmed. So we're gonna fold in once, and then fold in the edges, because you want to tightly bundle these guys up so they don't come undone while you're baking them. Okay? Like so. This is the most tedious part of all.
You make it look so easy.
That's why you're going to practice. I brought you a plate too, so let's get wrapping.
Let's do it. Let's get wrapping. Okay, this is my very first Sarma ever. Is this enough?
Yeah, plenty.
And we already messed it up. So, we add a spoonful like that. Susan, if I'm doing it wrong, feel free to tell me.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, you're good. You might want to put your stuffing a little. You know what? You're going to have a hard time wrapping all that up. So let's scoop some back.
Okay, this is why we ask questions.
Here we go. Yes. And you want to put your filling as close to the stem as possible so you have more leaf to wrap.
Let's just do a quick back like that, so you can see how close we are to the backing. Okay. So now we fold up like that.
Yes, and then the side.
Then the sides.
There we go. And keep rolling. You want to do a little tightly so it's not too loose. Great!
There
Yay!
Not terrible. So I'm gonna do a little bit less this time. Probably a little bit less than that.
Maybe even a teaspoon might work better.
I like my Sarmas big, so that's how I make my Sarmas. So.
Alright.
Okay.
There you go. Sometimes you'll notice that the grape leaves might be a little small, so don't be afraid to use two and kind of layer them so you have more leaf to wrap with. This is the most tedious, time-consuming part about making stuffed grape leaves.
Susan, when was the first time you made a Sarma? Do you remember?
Oh geez, no. I don't remember, but I remember...
Did anybody show you, or did you just kind of wing it and figure it out yourself?
You know, no. Actually, I kind of figured out how to wrap it by myself. I used to watch my mom make the stuffed cabbage.
See that? Self-taught?
Yes. And it was so funny to me. I thought, how does she do that? She would put, I will illustrate, she would put the cabbage leaf in her hand, and she would scoop the filling onto the cabbage leaf and then just roll it. And to me, I thought like, wait a minute, I can't control the rolling so well. So I thought, wait a minute, I'm gonna just lay out the leaf on a plate and roll it that way. And voila.
That makes sense. See, Bob, I'll have Bob on an episode soon. One thing to remember is your Sarmas do have a face and a back. If you look at your grape leaves, there is a smooth side to it, and then there's the back side with all like the veins in it. We're actually gonna we're layering these. You're gonna put your filling on the on the smooth side of these. Nice and tight is the name of the game, guys. Good Sarma feels almost like a cigar. It's like nicely compacted. You know, you can take it on a trip.
How's it going, Nick?
They're actually not terrible. I'm getting there.
You're doing good. We need a few more hands to help out.
Yeah, cameraman. don't think you're getting off without making a couple sodomy. Okay, after a lot of trial and error, many mistakes, but it's okay. Mistakes are how we learn. After our sodomy have all been wrapped up, we're gonna layer them inside a casserole dish, and it should look something like this.
So we're going to drizzle a little bit of more olive oil on top, okay? Then we're going to get an oven-safe plate and we're going to press it down. This is to hold them down because now we have to pour some boiling water over them and then put them in the oven.
So we're going to put in the plate first and then the boiling water.
Yes, because if you pour in the boiling water, they're just going to start to rise and unwrap, and you're going to pour enough to cover them.
So yeah, that's always been a question of mine when it comes to kind of water. Is it just until they're pretty much barely submerged?
A little bit more, because all that rice, it's gonna absorb all the water cooking. Okay, so you want to cover them. Let's see, we're doing good. All right, I say we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so that's basically what it is.
After the plate's on and boiling water's on and everything's submerged, we're going to cover everything with tin foil.
There we go.
And this is going to go in the oven for, well, the oven's set at 350 Stephanie for about how long, Suze?
Give it an hour to an hour and a half, okay?
About an hour and a half. While the sadma's in the oven, we're going to show you how to make a quick little side salad dish to go with your sadma when it's out of the oven. So the first thing we're going to do is take a little cucumber, and I'm going to run it through my mandolin slicer right here. If you don't have a mandolin slicer, you can go ahead, use your knife. Look like this. So after our cucumbers have been chopped up, you're going to take some dill and chop it up nice and fine like Susie's doing right now. And to this dill, we're going to add it to some plain yogurt.
Yes,
Plain yogurt. To that, we're also going to add a little bit of chopped garlic. Anything else?
The cucumbers.
And now the cucumbers. This is a little bit of a salad. Susie, you know what this salad's called?
This is called a Macedonian taratun.
Oh, it's a taratun salad.
Yes. Some people know it as tzatziki, but it's really easy.
Okay, it's been about an hour and a half now. Time for the moment of truth. Let's see how we did.
Steaming. All right. Gotta remove our plate. Ooh, it's hot.
Is that?
There we go. Woohoo! Uncle Chip, I think these are your roll-ups. The ones have come apart. Sorry.
Nobody ever made sadma perfect the very first time.
No, you did great.
But I must say, it smells amazing, guys, and we gotta try these.
Yes, we do.
Time to, let's plate them. We can't eat them just regular like this.
We're gonna plate them first.
We gotta plate them.
Okay.
Wow, I gotta admit, we've made a lot of food here, but this is quite possibly one of the prettiest presentations that's ever come out of this kitchen, at least. Thank you so much, Suze, for my very first sadma, and it came out really, really good looking.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure, and thank you for having me on the Better Balkan.
Oh, anytime you want to come back, especially if you want to more sadma, 100%. Guys, this is sadma. It's an amazing dish. It can be a main course in and of itself. It can be an appetizer. We made this with ground beef. You can use it with any kind of meat. You can remove the meat you want, and if you'd like, and make it a vegetarian dish. It's a very versatile dish. It's an amazing thing. And you know what? I don't even want to talk about it anymore because I'm looking at this and I'm starving.
Oh.
Let's see. Good night.
Good night. So
Wait,
Humpsies.
we'll have to edit that part out.
that's okay. All right, okay. So are we ready?
Yep.
Okay,